Deputy Chief Al Rollins may have started with the Mount Dora Police Department in 2020, but he has a long career in law enforcement dating back to 1982.
I was born in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I was raised in a community called Gonzales, Louisiana, which rests kind of between Baton Rouge and New Orleans. I grew up in somewhat of a rural area with two older sisters. My father was in the United States Army. I've been in Central Florida a little bit over 30 years now. I joined the Air Force. I was in the Air Force for 7 years, and when I got out of the Air Force, I wanted to get back into law enforcement, and I was attracted to the Central Florida area, mostly the Orlando area. So I came here and I interviewed with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. They hired me, and 30 years later, I retired from there.
As a kid, Al loved playing football, but his dreams brought him to law enforcement.
I've always wanted to be in law enforcement. I've always felt the need to, it may sound corny, but to protect the innocent, protect the weak, serve my community the best way that I could do that. And law enforcement was a very, very big attraction to me.
Al has had opportunity to grow and learn through the ranks. He's lived in Lake County the last 8 years and has adapted to being a local.
I had the opportunity to become the director of the Central Florida Intelligence Exchange and to command the Criminal Intelligence Unit. And I learned so much. I met so many people. And it was there that I really, truly felt that I was on the front lines, that I was on the forefront of not just keeping this region safe, but being a part of keeping this country safe. I moved to Howey in the Hills about 8 years ago. I never thought that I would actually live in Lake County, but there was an opportunity. There was a beautiful home. I have horses, so I wanted some land for my horses, and I moved to Lake County about 8 years ago, and I love it.
Al is keen to observe the struggles of modern-day policing, but when the day is done, the good outweighs the bad.
Well, early on, when I started in this career, there were a lot of challenges. The respect or how people viewed law enforcement was always a challenge. But I have to say that here recently, with the recent events and things that are going on, we faced a totally different challenge. And mostly the challenge is with ourselves. I can tell you right now that in 2020 and 2021, we in law enforcement have probably faced some of the biggest challenges that I've seen over 30 years. I believe the best part about being a law enforcement officer is when you truly help people. When you truly have the opportunity to make an impact on someone's life. Let's face it, normally when someone needs a police officer, it's probably in the worst portion of their day or their life. Something's gone wrong. And when you can show up and when you can help them solve a problem, when you can be of service to humankind, that is the best part about this job.
Al served 7 years in the Air Force as a security police officer, has met 2 presidents, and says his career has given him abundant opportunities. But there's another unique aspect of the deputy chief.
Oh my gosh, I am a cowboy mounted shooter. I have been doing it now for about 11 years. It is exactly what it sounds like. 1 weekend out of a month, and even sometimes 2 weekends out of a month, I get to dress up. I get to put on some 6 guns, and I get to get on my horse Victorio and go out into an arena and shoot targets for time. It is probably one of the most amazing things I've ever done in my life. It took me a while to start. I watched it for a little bit, and I was a little skeptical because, shooting guns off of a horse, it's a bit much. But once I tried it, I was hooked, and I've been hooked ever since. I am a semi-professional. I'm a senior men's level 5. They only go up to level 6. And it's amazing. It's awesome.
Al has made many friends inside and outside of law enforcement and has the respect of his peers. He also offers up advice to anyone who wants to be in law enforcement but may be thinking twice about it.
I think the first thing I would say to them is eyes wide open. Come into this job with no illusion that it is something that it isn't. I believe that once they hit the academy level, then they should know the realities of this profession. This is not an easy job, and if it was an easy job, everyone would be lining up to do this job. I would say be yourself. Come into this job as the human that you are, with your backgrounds, with the experience that you've gained growing up. Then put on this uniform and then go out and be a peacemaker.
I asked Al to describe himself in one word, and the word he chose is something Mount Dora needs to hear.
The word would be committed. And I know committed can mean a lot of things, but for me, committed means that I'm engaged. I'm committed to whatever it is that I'm doing. You give me a task, and if that task is to move 1,000 marbles from one box into another box, I am committed to moving those marbles. That's how I am. That's how I'm geared. That's my personality. And as far as policing is concerned, I'm committed to being the best.